Dude, that took me 3 years to learn. 3 years of competing in Smash to realize that I'm just not, I don't like competing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a competitive person.
I don't know what I like.
Here's the thing, here's the thing. I love improving at Smash, right? Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
I love playing friendlies and I love figuring stuff out.
We talk about it
and
all the time.
I love like I can talk with Shay for hours about game theory. We just talk for hours.
Right.
And I'll like lab new stuff out. When I figured out how to do the fair turn on ASC back air, when I started doing that, it was like Christmas, right?
Right.
But I'm not into like the competition part. Like I get super anxious about bracket. I get really nervous. I like stress about who I'm gonna have to play.
Right. Do you think if you didn't, I mean, I feel like that's...
You mean if I didn't get good?
No, that doesn't sound like an unfixable problem, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's something that I would like learn to tolerate.
Right.
We talked about this when we were playing Fortnite.
I'm sure we did.
It's when I got to like 13th in Illinois or whatever it was, like statistically 13th.
Right, right.
And people started like having expectations.
Oh, like, oh, dude, they gotta play Connor next.
Yeah, like, oh my. Well, no, it was like, oh, Connor lost to. Hold on, Evan's talking to.
Bold claim, huh?
Oh, he didn't knee him.
All right, that's fine.
But yeah, Jack, it was then. It was when
that was when you realized, like,
when I like put it together.
I don't know.
We're
I've never
about
been.
How
I've
I
never
haven't
been
competed in a while.
Oh yeah.
I've never been like good enough to feel that way.
I'm saying it like set in extra hard and made me think about it when I like got to the point where there were expectations, like statistical.
Oh, so you're saying like seeding?
Wise. Yes.
Yeah. Is
Where
that when you
like,
stopped enjoying it?
No, I realized I hadn't been enjoying it.
Oh.
Like, because I would spend all of Friday morning thinking about, like, what if I have to play so-and-so tonight? What if I lose to so-and-so?
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
No,
that's
I
a whole different level.
I would go weeks, like, worrying about playing certain people in bracket.
Wow.
Oh my god, dude.
And then when it got to the point where it's like, you have to play C# and it's, like, not weird to get the upset anymore, and people are like, oh, wait, like, he should beat so-and-so.
Right.
Sure.
Where
feel that.
Wyld told me, he's like, yeah, you're solidly at the top of the B tier right now. Like, you shouldn't lose to, like, not shouldn't lose, but it's unexpected that you would lose to X, Y, and Z players.
Sure.
And I was like,
I didn't know that it was a daily thing. Because I would be like, oh, I feel that. I would be like, oh, during a tournament, like, well, yeah. Everyone feels that.
No.
That's bad.
And I went through bouts of like, do I play with music? Do I not play with music?
Right.
Sometimes the music would help. Other times the music wouldn't help. What about it? What if I have to play so-and-so? You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's just ridiculous. And now I can come here and play friendlies and still get better at the game, which is why I play the game.
Right.
And it's like not stressful anymore.
That's interesting.
I
like
respect
legitimately is, yeah. Because I was gonna say, well, you're talking about like if it's not an unfixable problem, but I don't know. That sounds pretty.
I don't think it's unfixable. It's just like, do I need to devote the energy to fixing it?
Right. Yeah, I respect that. I think there are merits to spending that energy to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, you know, like feeling nervous when you're playing, I think is completely different.
Right.
Because like that like helps you to an extent. If you can control it.
The way I see it is that whether I'm playing or not, I'm learning situations, and that's why I'm like how you get better.
No,
is you practice certain situations. You can lab stuff out in your head, but like at the end of the day, you need to experience situations and everything.
Right.
And I can get that in friendlies. You know, Evan and I had this talk a long time ago where it's like, are people really trying in friendlies? And it's like, I don't need like C# to try in friendlies. I just need him to undershoot and air me, to know what that feels like and know the counterplay, learn the counterplay.
Do you think that's like, a product of like fighting games in general? Like you feel this way?
No, it's a product of being a musician. Where it's like
no. I don't mean like why. No. I'm talking about like having expectations like that. Because if you were to play any other game competitively, a game that has like a large community,
it's not fighting games in general. It's competition.
It's competition.
It's competing.
No, I totally agree. But it's like if you were like playing, like if you were playing Fortnite, for example. Like I would just use that as an example.
If he was a pro streamer, and he gets got by one of these like
that's completely different though. That's entirely different.
No, it's not.
It totally is.
Okay, see, so Rangunchu says, I don't truly try unless it's before a tournament and I want practice or if someone asks me. And it's like, that's totally cool. Like, and that doesn't affect my learning process. Oh, yeah. Like, you could argue that someone trying harder might accelerate the process. Yeah. But if the way that I'm learning is by analyzing specific situations, as long as the situation happens, then as long as the situation happens, it's still the same.
Right.
I agree, but so I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add another layer to it, where you have, it's kind of like a pimple almost. So like the situation exists, and that's the pimple. Okay?
Okay.
Like that's your problem. And like one of the remedies to popping a pimple, or to a pimple, is to pop it. And I think that acceleration is like that pressure forcing you to like learn.
See, that's interesting because I don't do that. I'm not an on-the-fly guy. Like Double is an on-the-fly learner where he'll like just figure it out and be like, oh. But with me, it's like I'm just like a bag of rocks, dude. Like I'm so stupid when it comes to that type of thing. I need to go home and think about it.
Right.
I've spent like hours where when my roommate and I were learning like neutral, and he would like overshoot. And I'd be like, what the fuck do I do? And I asked him, I was like, what do I do when you like do that in air? He's like, just hit me first. And it took like a day. And I was like, oh my God. Like
I'm curious, how do you feel about competing in things that aren't Smash?
I don't like it.
Okay.
Like, I don't go to music jam sessions because it feels like that intensity.
Really?
I love hanging out with friends and playing music, but I don't like going to jam sessions, and that's like a whole different thing.
Right. So truthfully, you're just like
not a competitive person.
Yeah, that's fair. Because my first thought was like, well, maybe it's because like in fighting games, it's all on you. It's like in fighting games, it's so easy to get blown up, no matter how good you are, and like that could contribute to the stress that you feel because of it. But
I just want to say, Rangunchu, I'm sorry that my pimple comparison wasn't perfect.
No, that makes sense though.
Like I try in friendlies.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But for me, it's like it helps me to focus on the learning process.
Yeah, no, I feel
more.
that.
I understand
That's like,
that.
Which is possible in bracket, but to me, I just like it's more relaxing when I can just play friendlies.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like ultimately, that comes out of this is like, for you, it is more relaxing, and you're getting enjoyment out of this.
Yeah.
For me, I love competing.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, like, I feel like in my heart, like I am a contender. Like that's how. If I had the opportunity to be like drop everything and play, or do this thing, you know, become a competitive player at it, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd do that.
Oh yeah.
With me, I'm not a competitor. I'm a learner.
Yeah.
And that's what brings me joy, is like learning a new skill and like making those improvements.
Yeah.
Speaking of learning a new skill, can we talk about how much better I am at improving at things because of Smash?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. We used to talk about this when I was like just learning like Fortnite stuff. I used to always tell Connor, I was like, dude, Smash improvement is just so fucking. Smash is giving me such a good mindset. Yeah. Like there was a thread on one of the competitive subreddits, and it was like, how do you deal with, you know, like, how do you? I need to improve my mindset. And I'm like, oh, do you? Because I happen to be a fucking expert on this.
Dude, I
read so many Google Docs full of knowledge. You have no fucking clue.
I had this conversation with the director of jazz studies at DePaul. This is super.
Which one?
What do you mean?
Oh, Professor of Jazz Studies. I was thinking you're
the director.
Which DePaul?
Like
no,
director.
I thought I heard his trumpet teachers.
No. that's a different conversation. I've had that conversation with him. But no, this recent conversation, because he's my combo director this year. So he's the director of jazz studies at a university. And I asked him, I was like, so let me get this straight. So you're the director of jazz studies at a university, but your university degree when you were studying is in aerospace engineering. Like you worked at Boeing and everything as like a rocket scientist.
Right.
You played jazz
making
music
like
with
billions of dollars.
with like literal jazz legends, like the people that we study.
That's fucking
like
awesome.
He was there.
That's amazing.
And I was like, "Do you have hobbies?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm really glad you asked because I really love scuba diving. I took up golf. I ride motorcycles."
That's awesome.
And it's like, I said, that was a crisis I dealt with freshman year where I was like, can I keep playing Smash if I want to be a jazz musician? And he said, I think that learning other skills is crucial to being good at things.
Oh, yeah.
Because
100%.
it helps inform. He said, like, my scuba diving informs my jazz playing. And the trick to improvement is that you let things inform the other, like, disciplines. But when you're doing the discipline, you're in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's a good point. I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people have that question until they, like, hit 40. You know what I mean?
Can I keep doing X if I'm Y?
Exactly. Or, you know, I don't know. People that, like, enjoy their jobs.
I mean, that's what he's saying is, yes, you should. If anything, it'll make you better at your job.
Exactly.
Which is, like, the most reassuring thing.
I like that. That's a good point.
I mean, you and I have talked about parallels when it comes to learning skills.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
From Fortnite.
Right. Well, it's like, I don't know, like, when I see other people's, like, how they think about games that they're not Smashers, especially, like, I don't know, especially in, like, new games, or, like, games with big-ass fan bases.
Are you going to play them?
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right, friends.
Take it
luck.
easy.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Whoa.
So I plan on coming back to commentate.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
We'll be waiting.
What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, games with, like, a lot of fucking players. So, like, name any, like, big esport game.
Like
Like
CS:GO.
Right. Well, maybe not. I guess